Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
And welcome. We are back again for the Wednesday episode. Daniel is still on vacation out in Oregon, that lucky son of a bitch. I'm stuck here by myself in the studio, but I have a guest with me. Everybody welcome Zak Linville.
Hey, what's going on? How's everybody doing?
Give the audience a little introduction of yourself.
Well, I just do my thing. I got laid off from COVID, and now I'm just going to school and doing whatever comes my way, whatever happens. And
Right.
this is part of it.
Yeah, you get laid off from COVID. Next thing you know, you're on a podcast.
Yeah. I never thought I would be, actually.
Yeah, it's the American dream.
Yeah. Do what you want to do.
Yeah, content creation. This is the new medium, not just podcasting, but anything digital. Get my voice out there, get my face out there. I'm going to dance stupid on a TikTok video.
Yeah, people love to do that. I get told by my old lady that I need to do that every time she sees one. I need to, no underwear with gray pants and just dance in front of her. It's okay.
They love the gray sweatpants.
Yeah, something about that.
I think the women like the cock.
You know what? That might be it.
It could be. I never did understand like TikTok, and I liked Vine, but that it grew thin, and I just got bored with it quickly. But I just don't get the infatuation people have with these 6-second or even 10 to 12-second videos. I don't have, my attention span's a lot longer than that.
Well, it's kind of like you can stream together videos. You could make what is it? You said like 10 seconds. You could make it. You can make a very long video. We just got to stream together every segment,
Right?
Or whatever. But I don't know how they do it. My old lady's just sunk into it really hardcore. She loves that. We'll be watching a movie and then she'll be on TikTok in no time.
I've never downloaded the app. I've watched I would say maybe 10 TikTok videos that people have sent me, and I'm like, okay, some of them are kind of funny, but for the most part, it's just people doing some stupid dance that they created, and now they made $1 million because they had 20 million people watch them dance stupid.
Well, there's also just like with any media, you'll get certain people that do certain things. Just like with YouTube, you get the gun guys, you get the political commentary left and right. It's the same thing with TikTok. It's all just goes to the same. Everybody does the same thing. There's people all kinds. My old lady follows. Since I started welding, she started following welders. There's a whole community of welders on TikTok that make videos, and it's like, what? But there's a community for everything on that platform. I haven't downloaded it. I don't want to, but
I would expect a welding community on TikTok. I've seen like pictures, beautiful weld jobs and stuff like that, but enough to make a TikTok community out of it.
Oh yeah, there's political. There's already been a political purge on TikTok that I've heard about, but they people claiming being censored and all that. But what did it start in? It started in China, right?
Yeah, TikTok is a Chinese product.
Chinese company.
It was supposed to be getting banned, but I guess they stopped that or something. I don't know.
Well, you could think of it as if it was anything nefarious going on there, like it's China. What are they gonna do?
They already own us. I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
What are they gonna do?
We're like $7 trillion in debt to them. They're just
something like that,
and they're just getting our personal information out of their TikToks. So we'll call it even.
Yeah. Where will they benefit from every American that has TikTok's facial recognition?
Well, I guess that way they're so China when they inevitably do attack and bring the war front to the United States, they know exactly who they're shooting. Or they have a list of people who are like, yeah, we're taking off this motherfucker. All of his videos suck. And just go right down the pecking order of TikTok.
Yeah, I think if it gets to that point, it won't really matter. They're going to have the same problems any other country would have if you try to invade this place.
Yeah. They're not expecting, for one, our military, and then two, basically every household at least having one gun on average.
Yeah.
That'd be a pretty quick and easy fight for us.
Personally, I think that if it was our own government doing it, I don't think they'd have a shot.
Well, they do have bigger weapons than we do.
They do. But, we had a lot of bigger weapons than, the Vietnamese Chinese farmers that just rose up and started fighting.
True. But, they literally have bullets that are bigger than our guns. So,
well, if they want to start just randomly shooting into neighborhoods, that would be good for them,
definitely good target practice. But I don't see our government actually doing that. As much as, it's thought about and conspiracized about, I just don't see it happening because the government would have to tell all the police officers, all the military guys to shoot their neighbors.
And don't quote me on the number, but I believe there's only like 63,000 active police officers in the United States. Like,
that seems a lot lower than.
I was shocked. You can look it up and quote me on that, but it's not, the number is not large. And to say that the police will be here in case of some kind of catastrophe in which the government goes full on Rambo on us, I don't think that's going to happen.
Let's see. Active, we're actually down from, looks like 2008. As of 2019, we have 697,000.
I'm sorry, it was 600, not 60. Yeah,
697,195.
Even then, that's not a lot.
That's nothing.
in a land of 320 million people plus.
That's nothing.
They can't do anything. Don't expect the police to save you in some kind of catastrophe. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, that's why it's what's the average response time when you could dial 911?
It all depends on the region and the area, but
and how much you make.
It's not large. Yeah, depends on the area code. Yeah, they don't get paid for that.
See, then you also have 1.3 million active duty military, and then more than 800,000 and the reserves. So if you have to have, so what is that? 2.1, so roughly 2.8 million enforcers the government would have at their disposal to try to.
And you'd have to convince every one of them to
shoot
murder
their neighbor
people
and their families.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening.
No.
So there's a lot of people who think the Orwellian nightmare is coming true, and then the government's going to come through and just go door to door, wiping us out. You're not going to convince Joe from Texas, who's over in Iraq and Iran and Afghanistan, to come back home and then arrest his mom because the government said, we don't like her anymore.
Well, they would try the National Guard first. I'm pretty sure they would be the first ones to start business and try to convince people that you need to stand down. This is the National Guard people.
Yeah, you had one weekend this month of training. Go out there and disarm the neighbor.
No, but yeah, the only thing that gave me pause in that aspect of, could they do it, would be when the Boston bombing happened. Like, when the Boston bombing happened and they were looking for Zhanaev, I butchered his name. But, they went all ham. Like, it was like a full-on exercise. If you watched all the footage, like, it was a full-on, what would we have to do if we need to confiscate arms? Like, the ATF, every acronym was there in Boston, going door to door, searching for the guy, and they brought people out of their homes with hand raised, 100 guns to their face. It was one of those things where I was watching, it gave me it actually gave me chills. I was like, holy crap, they could, like, if they wanted to, shut down, communication, internet, whatever, and they wanted to, in certain areas, of course, they could wipe out, towns if they wanted to by taking weapons, and nobody would know about it.
That is true.
If they cut off internet and whatever, because they can do that. They can, but
they can definitely take this away from us, and I don't know how to tap into the internet. I don't know how to be a service provider.
Well,
I don't know where you actually connect your wire into the main internet.
Yeah,
and then I can distribute that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think if they did, it would make sense for them to do it silently as much as possible. Because I mean, if you get one guy with a camera phone recording, atrocious things the military's doing, you're done. Because the word gets out, and holy crap, they're really doing this. But I think they'd have to do it silently.
Start small rural towns and just branch your way out.
Because Boston was pretty good, like, ATF, FBI, national security.
It was swift. I mean, the bombing happened, like, the next day, door knock raids.
Martial law.
They cleared that town out.
But, going off topic a little bit, I guess.
But even though they did do that, it wasn't every door, every house, all at the same time. Mm-hmm. They did a few street patrols. They go down the street. So if they try to do that the whole place at the whole time, I still don't see that working in their favor. Yeah, because there's going to be a couple of those doors where they say no, clack clack. You ain't. I'm not coming out. You're not coming in.
They would have, I'm pretty sure they have people in think tanks thinking about this very thing right now.
Oh, I'm sure they've been in think tanks for decades, trying to figure out a way to take over their own land, take it away from the people. Yeah,
it's one of them delicate subjects where you could say one thing and people would label you a right-wing conspiracy theorist, but that's only one. It seems like the right's the only one that actually thinks about those things.
Yeah, the left is more about, no, it's okay, the government's cool. And the rights are the ones that are going, what was it, the Super Bowl where the power got cut out. They're like, oh, it's a red flag operation. It's like, no, it was actually just a power outage. Calm down.
Yeah, there's a gray area would be a lot nicer in this country at this point, I think.
The common middle ground where the majority of people actually are.
Yeah, we don't really have a voice too much.
No, the media only gives us the far left and the far right. And what's sad is that tactic is working, and it's pulling the moderates to the left and to the right. I believe, there's this one transgender female to male who is now a college professor who is teaching the students how sucking dick is, and there are stories similar to that kind of premise, and everybody jumps on that, and they think, oh, this is a shame, our country's falling apart. It's like, that was one person that somehow got into the news, and you think this is some kind of like an epidemic spreading amongst it. And that's just not the case. There's a handful of cases of, like, the what was there, NAMBLA, the pedophiles and all them. There's been like 4 cases of people that were having conferences and assemblies, and they were talking about it. And I saw a lot of people lose their shit saying that this is all the left, the libtards and everybody are wanting to fuck our children. And it's like, because these 4 people who are fucked up in the head said that it should not be a crime to have sex with children. It's like, yeah, be pissed off, but at those 4 people, because nobody else is really saying that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you want to, let's see, let me delve into a hardcore right wing here. If you were to look into what is really going on in college campuses over the last, I would say 10 years at least. It's very gone left. Like, there's not really a right wing anybody who could come to like a speech or anybody that can come to a well known, prestigious school in this country and get away with it unscathed.
Right.
They have to get a permit. They have to get law enforcement to show up and
security.
Yeah, and without being protest to point of violence, and that's a lot of the schooling coming out of classes are vast majority left wing and without any other kind of thought process along goes with it.
Yeah, the universities and colleges have always been left, moderate to the left, and it's over the last 10 years. Yes, it's getting even more and more to the left, where it's now no longer tolerable towards.
Well, I don't even think liberal point of views are accepted, for the most part. It's progressive politics.
Oh, yeah. It's there's no more he's and she's and all that. It's everything has to be extremely bland.
I wouldn't even go that far. I would just say that the information that students are getting in colleges is one-sided. I would say for the most part. I don't know. I could be wrong.
It's kind of one-sided all through school, because while there is a curriculum and there are textbooks, you're still bound by what the teacher is actually pulling from those books and teaching the students. And they're going to be mixing in a little of their personal beliefs as well.
Oh yeah, which I don't think should be anyway. I don't think anything. I mean, of course you can. I've had teachers that had, opinions, but it was from when I was in school. It wasn't discussed. Like, their opinion wasn't discussed. It was this is how it works, and this is how this was history, or this is that. But the opinion of the teacher was kind of irrelevant as to what was actually happening.
I had one teacher, Mr. Kelly. He was our history/social studies teacher in junior high, and he taught it by the book, but then he'd throw some comment out at the end of the point. But he never drove it home or anything. He just and that was the reason for the fall of this empire. And he's like, there was other stuff going on too, but we're not going to get into that.
Right. Yeah, I think the teacher, I've seen, I watch a lot of videos people put out as far as real, on the street kind of videos where people, interview whatever, just see what's going on.
Those heavily edited ones?
Well, some of them, yeah, they are. They all have to be edited.
It's amazing how every single person they asked had the exact same response, whether it was they don't know a certain thing or they all think it was this when it was actually that. It's like, you probably, out of 100 people you asked, 20 said, gave you the answer you were wanting.
Right.
And then you edit those to be in the video. And so it looks like, oh, wow, every single person all 20 of these people all agreed or disagreed or was stupid. And
I watched one recently. I don't remember who did it, but it was in Portland. And it was a mixed bag of answers. It really was. I was kind of surprised, but it was, she would ask about the, they're literally standing in rubble and just after the math of a huge protest, and ask what you think of this, what's been going on. And some people were all for it, they got graffiti everywhere on the statue behind us. I'm all for it. People need to be heard, and this, people have to go on Trump. Trump is destroying this country. We need to stop this. And then the next person, would ask, was like, yeah, this is disgusting. we need to have some kind of, common ground that people can reach, and pretty educated opinion. But, it's few and far between you actually get one of those. People on the left and the right are very toxic in that sense.
That is very true.
It's just, It's amazing. Just go through a Yahoo comment thread on Facebook.
They disabled comments on Yahoo. It's been down for about a month, and they're
Really? Because I just got banned from Facebook because of a comment I left.
From Yahoo.
Yeah.
That's,
on Yahoo, like on the Facebook. You know.
Oh, that. Okay.
Okay.
I meant like the actual Yahoo website. Like if you go to their news page.
Oh, I don't doubt that they disabled comments.
Yeah, our goal is to create a safe and engaging place for users to connect over interests and passions. In order to improve our community experience, we are temporarily suspending article commenting. And it's been down for about at least a month now.
You know, the comment that got me banned on Facebook was, ugh, white men are the worst. And it was a comment thread about, well, the story was about Elliot Page.
Oh, yeah.
And he's, transitioning into a white man. And I was like, well, white men are the worst. Got me banned for hate speech. I was like, I thought you couldn't be racist against white people. I thought it was the thing, you can
Yeah,
trash.
we're untouchable. I mean,
I guess, they don't get the irony or humor of it, but I guess it was because it was a, Yahoo transgender page, a story that was commenting on where I said something about anybody else. I don't know. I've never gotten banned for it. I've seen so many comments trashing white people, but I've never seen anybody get banned.
This guy's
for
obviously self-hating. Get him out of here.
Well, this guy's trolling is probably what they thought.
Oh, that too.
Yeah, which I kind of was, but
Still,
but it was kind of funny. I mean,
at least I get banned for legitimate reasons.
what is that parody tweet account where it was her name's like Titiana, and she always says some outlandish things, and she pointed out the fact that, well, Elliot Page has transitioned to a white male, therefore she should be publicly shamed. He should be publicly shamed for being a white man in society.
In that vein of thinking that a lot of them that do have, then yeah, since Ellen Page is now Elliot Page, that makes him
if you
a
take
white
the
male.
logic,
It's now everything is his fault, so we need to cancel him.
Yeah. If you take the logic as far as you can with the progressives, you'll end up being what they hate, because you're just going to keep taking that next logical step in what they have put out, and then you'll be hated.
Yep.
Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I'm a man now. All right? I'm a man.
And everybody's like, yay, but you caused all of world's problems throughout the entire existence of humanity. So,
But you're transgender.
I gotta take your Twitter feed away.
You're transgender, though. There's the thing that's the equalizer. You can be a white man, but if you're a transgender, you're fine.
So is that saying that they're really not a man? Because if you're not going to get the punishment of being a man because you're transgender,
See,
so we can play this logic game.
See, now you're just playing with fire.
Exactly. And I'm not trying to piss anybody off or anything. I'm just doing what appears that everybody else is doing.
Well, no, because
you take one little thing that's happening in one specific instance and you're jumping on it, and it's everything and everybody.
You could think of it as like you could put Elliot Page on the bottom of a news story and think of it as in politics. You could put a TR in front of her name, and everybody would know everything's fine because it's transgender. It might be a white man, but it's a transgender white man. So therefore, everything's cool.
Everything's cool.
Their opinions are all
Call
valid.
the dogs off. We're not going to attack.
Any opinion that person has is valid, and we need to listen and take wisdom from it. The modern politics of the day is I think is indicative of an idiocracy.
It's becoming that. Mike Judge was
He was amazing.
Oh, he is amazing.
He's a prophet.
He's from the future, and he didn't make a movie. He brought back a documentary from his time.
Traveled back in time.
Brought it back to us to warn us. And apparently we're not listening at all. Because we've gone from Clinton, Bush Jr., to Obama, to Trump. Now we got Biden. Next is got to be Camacho Dorito, whatever his name was.
No, I
It's the
no.
next logical step. We need a former The Rock. We need a former professional wrestler now as the president. Because I won't vote for Jesse the Body Ventura.
Why is that?
He's a little too out there for me.
He probably agrees with you and us on a lot of things.
Oh, especially if you want to get into FEMA coffins and the FEMA camps and our own personal Auschwitz that we have bases around the country. He's a little out there.
Yeah, he's a little out there. But the whole, I would say, the implications of a Biden presidency is quite staggering to me. It's like he's just going to go further and down the neoliberal,
The neo rabbit hole.
I can't see him being better than Obama as far as that kind of shit goes. You know, I could just see him saying, "Well, I'm just gonna do whatever the generals tell me." You know, we're gonna go back into war. We're gonna start. I mean, I could see it, man. We're just gonna start going back into war. He's gonna coddle China like a little baby. He's gonna invite them in as much as they want. I can just see it. He already had stakes there, man. He already had his foot in the door in China. He doesn't care. I don't think he cares.
None of the elites care. Because actually, it could be whoever we want in there. It's the same fucking suit. Now, everything that Trump has done or hasn't done, what the important parts that what the upper elites, the Rothschilds, the J.P. Morgans, the Rockefellers, the uber rich, the people who are actually control the lizard people,
hate Trump.
They say that, but everything they needed done to keep their control was still done.
What, like tax breaks?
Change the tax brackets around, change the thought process of the people, divide and conquer, keep people uneducated. Because, like Carlin said, they don't want people thinking for themselves. They don't want a smart population. Fuck no.
I don't know. I know Trump had, his own points of view, which if you've actually watched his earlier speeches, they were kind of like indicative, to me at least, of what like I hate to say this is so bad, but it was indicative of a JFK before he was assassinated, talking about the deep state, talking about
Draining the swamp,
getting rid of the endless wars, all this stuff. And I think that's why a lot of people voted for him, was because everybody hated him. everybody
bought on the sales pitch.
Yeah, I think Trump on certain things he just kind of gave up on. Like he just kind of gave up.
There's a lot of stuff he gave up on from his campaign speeches.
Oh yeah, like ending the Fed and
end the Fed, put Hillary in jail.
That's the only one that really sticks in my fucking craw. Was no prosecution against the Clintons.
They're friends. That was all political mudslinging. So that wasn't gonna come to. Just as recently as 2007 or 2008, he was still donating to the Clinton Foundation, and so that whole tiff between the two was pure bullshit.
Well, I mean, he was well liked just before he started running for president. Just kind of shows that he was already in the club.
Yeah, he was also in the
everybody
Epstein
loved
club.
Him. And it's so funny watching like old Mike Tyson fights. Like it was at the one I watched recently. It was in the ring. It was Trump Plaza in the ring, and each post there was a Trump, his name, and there was Trump, Don King, Al Sharpton, and and then the fighters, and they introduced everybody, and and special thanks to Donald Trump for letting us have this.
He knows how to put his name out there. He's a master of being in the conscious. You can't go anywhere without seeing or hearing something Trump related.
Oh, I know. Like
that's been that way for decades.
I've never liked him, ever. Like
Especially
I've never
after Home Alone 2 lost to New York.
I mean, he did it terrible.
It was a horrible acting spot, and the only reason they got to film there was so that he only allowed them to film there if he got a cameo.
Really?
Yep.
I don't doubt it.
And that's the art of the deal. That's the salesman in him. And so he got his face in a movie. He got his plaza premiered in the movie, and so it all benefited him. He probably made more on that than what the fucking movie brought in.
Well, I mean, every president has been a sociopath, at least to one.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to
degree.
be.
You have to be. You have to be that willing. You have to be willing to say, okay, I will bomb this country, and in a moment notice. You have to be that and make those kind of decisions. And if you can make those kind of decisions and just say, let's do that, and it happens to murder a bunch of people, you got to kind of be a sociopath.
That even happened with Obama. How many weddings did he drone raid?
Obama's a saint. I don't know what you're talking about.
Sorry if Obama, you're listening.
We
love you.
You're a saint, man. Like, you never did anything wrong in your presidency whatsoever. And Joe Biden's just gonna continue your legacy of doing nothing wrong.
Exactly. Can we just have 4 years, no president?
Oh, that'd be great.
Just not even fuck Congress too. Just 4 years. Whatever's enacted now, just let it go. We got 4 years. We keep the police and all that stuff, but there's just nothing above. It's all literal states laws, and just go for 4 years and see what happens.
Okay, you could do that, no president, or you could have a libertarian.
Or if you want to go somebody who's actually a moderate, somebody who is down the middle, third party, as evil as that word is.
Oh yeah. I mean, a United States without the constant drama of a president would be great.
It just at least Trump has proved it. At least don't give the president a fucking Twitter.
I know, dude. You know what sucks too is I followed him on Twitter. I have a Twitter.
I'm sorry,
and I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't watch follow his Twitter, and I can't watch any of his speeches. I haven't been able to do it. I'll get like a couple minutes in, and it's so cringy. I can't do it.
And a lot of the times on some of his speeches and rallies and stuff, I'm like, you're making me miss Bush Jr. I mean,
the left likes Bush Jr. now.
Well, that's because Bush Jr. talked against Trump, so they're like, oh, he's one of us now.
I got so tired of in the opening of his presidency, and even throughout, like, it would suck to sit there and read what people had to say, and then have to defend a guy that I don't even like, because some of the shit that people have said are so outlandish. It's disgusting. It's like you're going way out of bounds on what's happened, like what he's done or hasn't done. There's people that I've talked to that he hasn't done literally anything.
No, he's a saint.
No. I mean, I'm talking on the left. He hasn't done anything in his presidency, good or bad. It's all bad. But I mean, there's nothing that he's done whatsoever that is good. There's nothing. And I looked shit up, and I can see certain things that he has done that I'm like, well, that's good job, dude. But if that's brought up in a conversation,
but they go, but what about this?
You're automatically a Trumper, and your opinion is invalid. You should go fuck yourself and die. Mm-hmm. Because you are now an accessory to a mass murderer
and pussy grabber.
Yeah, whatever. I haven't heard that in a while, but
it's been a while.
The latest one was that he's responsible for every COVID death in the United States.
it's a blanket way of going about it. If you're not happy with the way he responded, which a lot of people aren't, some people are, but you could say the lack of emergency coming from him did result in deaths, because unfortunately a lot of people still listen to what the president says and does. Acts.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And so if the president goes, this isn't it's not that important, it's going to be gone, it's already disappearing now in China, who did a great job.
Yeah, I know, dude.
Whoops. That tweet didn't fucking age well.
Have you seen the commercials for Wuhan?
No.
They have commercials now talking about how great it is, and you should visit. And it's like a welcome to Arizona, but it's Wuhan. Welcome to Wuhan, and they have, people on bicycles driving by, and everything is just hunky dory in that little commercial. It's like a fucking it's come
Chinese
here,
propaganda.
Come here, check this out. It's a great place to live, to bring your family and all this stuff. And I'm like, we're in a lockdown and we're suffering deaths.
They're showing this on our TV, or this just like Chinese TV?
I don't know. I saw the commercial.
But you see it on? It was like a YouTube video or some shit. Oh, okay. I say, that'd be kind of weird to be advertising here for that. But I can see it there because I'm sure that town did get decimated after the initial outbreak, and then everybody stayed the fuck away from it for however long it's been now. And now they're like, we're clear as far as we know. We got rid of the virus. We're safe now. Look, come on back. It's okay. Look, we have trees. We have we stopped selling bats. We promise.
Did they actually come up with a definitive source? Yeah.
Initially it was a bat, and then they're like, well, we can't be for sure.
And then that video came out of somebody eating a bat.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Probably from a couple of years ago, but in China and Japan, a lot of the Asian countries, they eat exotic, weird stuff like that. So, but yeah, I can see, Wuhan trying to bring the people back. I'm sure they got hit economically hard after they were literally shut down and all that. But then again, at the same time, I can still see it as Chinese propaganda. Hey, come on back, get reinfected. You don't know what's going on. Their media is just like, our media is becoming a lot like theirs, the Eastern culture media, where it's, what we allow you to know.
Right.
And if we say it's safe, you listen.
Well, I mean, I think that if it comes to where China is a greater power than us, like legit, I think they will slowly move in. Honestly, it might be conspiracy theory, but if it's not going to be an actual war between us two, it's going to be a social war.
They declared that a long time ago, and they said, we're going to win. If we go to war, it won't be on the ground. We're going to win from the inside. We're going to just take you over without firing a single shot.
Well, you already kind of see it with the NBA
and other NAFTA and everything else. Yeah. Send all of our businesses to China and let them work for 2 cents a day.
Did you see that Trump just recently banned the import of cotton from China?
I didn't even know we were importing cotton. I still thought we were making it ourselves, but okay.
Right. Because we should.
Yeah,
but
what's the South doing? The fuck?
I don't like trade wars, but in the if you look it up on .gov, it was due to the Chinese human rights violations with slavery.
Now, if we're going to Chinese human rights violations, half of our products should no longer be sold, especially Nike.
I don't think we should be involved with China whatsoever, but
they
it's
make
just me.
It cheap
because of slave labor.
Because of slave, I mean, it's
it shouldn't. That's so un-American.
It is un-American, but at the same time, we're not producing it.
Why not?
Costs too much here.
Shit. With all the people, we take in 1 million people a year. We take in 1 million people a year, and how many people are so desperate for a job and a new way of life? We could easily make cotton ourselves, or half the shit at least that China makes for us via slave labor and you do it in the capitalistic way of paying people for it, and you don't even have to pay them a lot of. I mean, you don't even have to pay them a lot of money. You start out. Everybody starts out small,
Right.
and moves up. You know, we could totally get it. We could totally make half the shit that China gives us in no time. You know, I just don't think it's. Not in no time, I should say, but you know.
Now you got to take out Honda, Toyota, Lexus. Then you've got all the electronic computer parts. Anything Samsung makes.
Well,
I mean,
that's true.
It's a massive market, especially in the electronics field. It's just a massive market that China and Japan own.
I think it's doable. Not in any time, in a short period of time. But I think it's
definitely
doable.
not something you can do overnight.
I think it's doable. We got 330 million people in this country. I think we could possibly do it.
Let's put everybody to work.
Yeah.
Get rid of the child labor laws.
I mean, 1 million people per year. Think about that. And it's been that way for a long time. You know, we're going to end up, you know, if we take 1 million people per year, and there's a lot of people that think, you know, we should take more people a year. And anybody who wants to cross the border from Mexico needs to come. You know, we need to take more and more people. And, you know, you end up being no land in this country.
Well, we got plenty of land. I mean,
Well, the government owns most of it.
well, true, but the literal Midwest, the middle of the country, there's nothing there. When I was a truck driver, and
It'll be shopping malls.
eventually, but as of right now, there's just nothing out there. I mean, look at you can tell just by the electoral turnout maps. There's nothing going on. In the middle of the
drive
whole
through the entire state of Illinois, like south to north. Like it's amazing how nothing is there.
Like, once you cross the middle of Illinois, it doesn't pick back up again until you get to like Las Vegas. There's nothing in between. There's Tulsa, I think Lincoln,
I've been to
Nebraska,
Tulsa.
and St. Louis. There's nothing between Nevada and Illinois. So there's plenty of room. So I'm not advocating bringing them all in. I'm just saying we got room to spare.
Right.
And plus, the ones that are crossing over, they tend to go to New York, Chicago, Miami, California, Texas.
I did a little experiment recently, and I looked up. It was like top 10 worst cities to live in the United States,
Based on
crime, poverty, you know, wealth gap, and you know all the horrible factors. And like I looked it up, and it, you know, gave the list, you know, and descriptions, whatever. But I looked up each individual city on its own, and looked it up on Wikipedia or whatever it might be, and I looked up who the mayors are.
I know where you're going.
Well, I mean, there might be like a couple, you know, Republican-ran states, but every single one of them is Democrat. Every one. Like, there's not one on that top 10 list that's a Republican mayor, city council, whatever it might be. But I did several different sources looking it up just to see if anything was wrong there, and
I've done that same study.
It's right. And if you tell somebody that, they'll be like, well, the governor's a Republican, or the you know, Donald Trump's running the country. You know, they think somehow that Donald Trump running the country makes every city Donald Trump, and that's definitely not the case. You know, you can look up Portland, who just gives up the whole city to radicals,
right,
and lets them run the city pretty much, which has happened on several occasions. But it really is. And I recently was on Xbox playing Battlefield, and one of my friends I was talking to, and it somehow got into politics. I don't know. But I brought that up, and she got so offended by me saying that. And I was like, it's not like, I'm not attacking you.
I'm not really attacking it. I'm just stating a fact.
I don't know where you live. I don't know where you live. I don't know your political persuasion. but just the simple fact that these places exist and are pretty horrible are ran by Democrats. And she muted me. Blocked me. And then I was just like, and she's like, I am so upset. And I'm like, why are you so upset? Is that because you're a Democrat, I assume, because anybody else wouldn't be offended by this. Like, it's just a simple fact check. You know, you can look it up and
Detroit,
fact check
Chicago, New York. Yeah.
Well, I mean, not even that. I mean, you can look at Stockton. Stockton's probably been in the top 2 in the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Stockton, California is probably the worst place to live, and it's always been Democrat. It's all Democrat ran, and if you might take with that as being look at the right wing perspective and be like, well, that's because they're Democrat, and that's why they make those changes. And would you be wrong?
You have to break down.
You have to break down
each state, each individual city, each individual regulation, legislation, and laws and everything that they've done in those cities, and you have to time record those from when they were enacted to what it is now, and did that actually play a part?
Nobody does any of that.
That's a lot of information to have to pull together.
Oh yeah.
But it would be neat if somebody would actually do that and say, is it actually liberal policies that are doing it? Is the cities that are Republican, is it the conservative policies that make them
right
better in certain ways? Or is it just the individual that is running that town?
But see, once again, we're talking about a balanced perspective here.
Oh, I'm sorry, we can't do that.
You're a fucking right winger. You goddamn libtard.
And you know, I took the political test, you know, several times over. Like, you know, it has the graph, you know, and I'm like, I'm left of center in the lower, you know, more freedom-based liberal than I was more liberal than I thought I was. Just
right.
And I did it several times, and I'm always about the same spot. And it's a liberal point of view for most of the things that I think about. And, you know, that's just unacceptable. I'm a right-wing troll. It's just indicative of how the polls have shifted.
Yeah. All my right-wing friends think I'm a liberal, and all my liberal friends think I'm a right-winger. And
I've never thought you were a right-winger.
Yeah. Well, then you're one of my right-wing friends.
I see people on Facebook, you know, I know who my right-wing people are, and I know who my left-wing or center people are, and, you know, I've talked to them both, you know, and both are just steeped in their beliefs, and it's hard to get anybody to think about something different. You know, if you bring up anything different that kind of questions the back of their mind, they just jump on it. They just jump on you, you know? Like, I've brought up things that Trump's done that I didn't like, and they're just fiercely defend it. You know, they question it right away. You know, if I say anything to my liberal friends, that my favorite thing is when my liberal friends don't even respond. Like, I was talking to an older guy that my dad's friends with, older boomer, and, you know, I brought up Kamala Harris. You know, he put up a post about how great Kamala Harris is. And I mean, just look at just look in the last 15 years of what she's done. It's pretty horrific. She's not a great person.
Yeah, she works on her knees a lot.
She's not a great person. She put a lot of people in prison on minor drug offenses and was proud to do it and fought tooth and nail until the court forced her hand to let these people go on marijuana violations. And then she turned around
but
and joked
isn't that
about
a liberal strong point of weed should be legal? So why would a
now it is. Now she's all for pot being legal
suddenly?
Because it's convenient.
Well, that, and I'm way more in the public eye now.
I was
I have
trashing.
to sway the votes.
She was trashing Joe Biden as being a racist before she jumped on the bandwagon and got behind him, and I'm pretty sure she probably thinks she's going to be president.
It's possible. I don't know how long that dementia is going to take to fully set in, but it's going to happen.
I mean, say what you will about Donald Trump. He was there. He's there.
He's an idiot. But
He's an idiot, but he's there. He's He might be an egotist, a sociopath, all those things. But he's there, and if you look at his presidency on a grand scale compared to the last several, it's not bad. It's not bad.
Not on the surface, no. Again, we can't really
put a D in front of his name. Everything's forgiven.
There was a lot of D things that he did too, because he was a registered Democrat for however fucking long.
Yeah,
and then suddenly switched, and then he's on the campaign trail. Now he's president as a Republican, but yeah, he's always played both sides of the fence because, again, that's the art of the deal. He knows how to sell himself.
There's things I've disagreed on him about, and there's things I've agreed on him about. But I can legit say, from a liberal point of view, that like I agreed with his policies more than I did Obama's. I mean, that's a very bad thing to say, but it's like shit. Like he hasn't started any new wars. He hasn't gone in and killed thousands and thousands of people in his term, his first 4 years. On a geopolitical and foreign policy point of view, I think he's done pretty good.
Now we talked about this before, but it's not for a lack of trying, because he did have the little. I don't even know what to call it. It was a tiff with him and Putin. But at the same time, they were like really good friends, but they hated each other. Then you had the whole North Korea thing going on, where he was bashing them, but then he became like really good friends with Kim Jong-un.
Well, the thing about it is
he's bashing China, and then
like
he's bashing Iran.
Remember when he started throwing the gauntlet down on Twitter towards Kim Jong-un, right?
Amazing tactic, by the way. But yeah,
dude, I sit there and read those tweets, and I was like, holy crap.
Do you really think Kim Jong is sitting on the toilet too at the same time, reading, going, "Oh, what the fuck"?
But then again, he did. He responded. The shit, like he crossed the 38th parallel.
Yes,
and he met with him and talked to him, and then it was months later that the South Korean leadership and him met.
They both crossed.
And I was like, wow. That is a great historical moment.
Yes.
What did the left do? He's insane. He's a madman. He's going to destroy us. He's going to kill us. It's just there was nothing positive about that whatsoever.
Bringing together North and South Korea after decades of just war.
I mean, of course,
hate.
Kim Jong-un did his normal help me, and then retract back into his old ways. But shit. If that wasn't a good thing to happen, I don't know what it was. A U.S. president crossing the 38th parallel with the leader of North Korea. Holy shit. Rejoice. That's great.
Yeah, that's an amazing leap forward in humanity.
He used his own fucking crazy tactics on the internet to actually maybe make them think that he's not playing around. He wants us to come to some kind of agreement. I'll meet with him. You know what I mean? And
then he ghosted him. Block, not answering calls or anything.
Well, what was it? Did he start doing his missile tests again or something?
Yeah, then Kim Jong just like, we're gonna start firing again towards Guam like we always do, which they get like 20 miles offshore and blow up. And then radio silence from then on out. It's like, but I thought we were trying to break the peace.
Well,
and
I mean, the next news story came.
Oh, then something else happened, and then Trump went to that.
Well, Trump, it was right at the time when they were still prosecuting for the Russia collusion thing.
Oh yeah, this the witch hunt.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm glad for with Joe Biden is that we won't have those storylines anymore. Hopefully.
Well, dude,
there's
going to be so much that we miss out on now that Joe Biden's president. There's going to be so much that we don't know. Like the media has gone so far and beyond to try to just destroy Trump that now that Joe Biden is here, we're just not going to report on that anymore. He's going to do this and that. We're invade another country, and they're going to just dog whistle it and say this is the right path, and bam, we're now in another fucking war. I guarantee it. I mean, I can almost guarantee it.
Maybe CNN will pull a Fox News and go, wait a minute. No. Fuck you.
No.
You can't call us out. We're the ones that are behind you and supporting you. And then you're going to say that we're doing bad journalism. All right, fuck you. This is what's wrong with Trump. And they turned an about face on him for a couple of weeks. Like, even like Sean Hannity was like, yeah, I'm not going to just everything you say, I'm not going to, just take it at the ass. No, I'm not doing that anymore. So maybe CNN will be like, you're getting a little too out there even for us now, so we're going to report against you sometimes now and become more balanced, like Fox News did.
Maybe.
It was actually quite refreshing to see Fox News go balanced.
I wish I had a timestamp for every time that the, main quote-unquote mainstream media went with Trump. I mean, there's only been like a couple times. But
very few. Not even a handful.
The first time, I think, was when he bombed Syria. When he bombed that base. Remember when they there was the gas attack, right?
Yeah.
Which
that's when we killed
anyway.
the number 2 for.
It was like a base.
Yeah,
he destroyed more nothingness than anything.
But I think that the base was in Iraq. After it was supposed to be Syria, but the base we attacked, which the guy was at. But it was in Iraq.
No, I don't remember the details.
And Iraq was like, why are you bombing our base? We're like, it was a retaliation to what this guy from Syria was saying. Plus, that guy was there. He was like a number 2 general for, I forget which faction over there, who was a bad guy that probably deserved to die. They got him in that bombing. But it happened to be on friendly soil.
Well, the media was all over him then. They actually congratulated him on his.
Yeah, because
if you're a liberal now, if you're on the media side and you're a liberal, you're pro-war.
It's collateral damage on that one.
You're pro-war. That's what kills me the most too. Is the left is now pro-war. When did that happen? Like you went from the 1960s protesting Vietnam to the no end, to no end hating war, and now the left are just completely complicit in loving war and wanting to go to war.
I wouldn't say loving or I'd go with the complacent, but I wouldn't say they're loving or wanting to.
The average person.
I'm saying because Libya, there was really no backlash on that.
Don't get me started on
Libya. There was some that they voiced their opinion, but there wasn't the sit-ins and the free love and all that stuff. None of that happened. Then any of the conflicts that we've had since, say, September 11th, there's been really no war or conflict protests. It's just been like, okay, this is par for the course now.
If you're anti-war anymore and you protest, there will probably not be too many people to show up. There might be, but you kind of get weird looks, probably.
Yeah, it's not popular anymore.
The media cheerleaded his war, his bombing that he did, like the few bombings that he did. I don't know what the status is in Yemen right now,
right?
Because I know there was a civil war going on, and I know that we were completely complicit in, it just fucking shit up. You know what I mean?
But that's what we're good at.
I don't know what the status is now, but
Well, I know there's a lot of conflicts that are going on, like the ones going on with the Armenians. It's gotten so bad that they brought System of a Down out of retirement.
Is that what brought them out?
Yeah, well, like their first 2 songs that they released was about that civil war that's kind of going on over the land, somewhere
Protect
over
the
in
land.
the stands.
Protect the land.
Yeah,
that's a single. Now, I knew there had to have been something to bring them out.
It's just like Trump brought back Rage Against the Machine, which got canceled due to COVID.
You mean Rage with the Machine?
Rage with the Machine. But it is funny at the same time how they do bitch about the machine and everything, but that they go and sell tickets for $200. Very capitalist. But at the same time,
AOC's got fucking T-shirts you can buy.
Oh God! Tax the rich for $58 plus tax and shipping and handling. But have you seen like the hardcore the right people who finally listened to what Rage Against the Machine songs were saying, and they're like, ugh, I can't believe they're so anti this. I'm not listening to them anymore. And they're like, well, what the fuck do you think we were singing about?
Right. I enjoy the musical side, and I enjoy the anti-government sentiment
Fuck
that
you,
they've
I
had.
won't do what you tell me.
But what was was that the video where was it? I know I've seen several clippings of him wearing a Che Guevara shirt.
Oh yeah, they love Che.
They love that. But why?
And it's hilarious that Che became a capitalist selling point. His face is everywhere.
You know, a guy who hated homosexuals and murdered them because they were homosexual. You know that guy?
Yeah, 100% for socialism, and yeah. He's on T-shirts and posters and billboards, and
yeah. You know, and you got the right wing, which they have T-shirts with helicopters on them. If you're familiar with South American politics, they who was him? He threw a homosexual or communist. He threw communists off helicopters. That was his thing because we funded another coup down there and put a right winger in power.
Oh, is it still Venezuela? Can't be Venezuela.
No, not Venezuela. It was one of them puppet dictators that we put in power.
We're good at that too.
Yeah.
As far as it was in Venezuela, we've tried like 3 or 4 times now unsuccessly.
Are they still eating, off the streets there?
Probably.
It's pretty fucking bad.
Last I knew about Venezuela, was it Venezuela? It was either Venezuela or Colombia, where we had like ex-Navy SEAL guys go off on their own and try to like invade. Did you hear about that?
When?
I want to say like no, like 5 months ago. At the most. They were like going up on little boats and coming up on land. They were all armed and trying to take over the government. And we're all like, we had no idea about this. And they're all like ex-military, and they all got captured. Obviously, because it was like 5 of them. They ran up on a big open beach.
I have to look that up. I don't know.
And we're like, hey, we don't know what you're talking about. That wasn't us. And we're like, that's what we do.
It's one of the
You're
things
going to say
too,
it's not
like,
us this time?
The most like actual stories that would make you shocked that are happening. They kind of just fly over the radar, and because the next story's there, like how much stuff we miss out on, because of the news feed. It's pretty stunning.
We're only told what we need to know.
Yeah, that's going to be the great reset in my opinion.
All right, that's going to pretty much do it for today's episode. I want to thank again Zak Linville for stopping in, filling in for Daniel.
Yeah, I'm sorry I talked most of the time.
Hey, no, that's what a guest is for. Not everybody wants to hear me ramble on, so don't worry about it. Plus, a lot of it I can cut out.
Yeah.
All right, so thanks again, and we'll see you all again on Friday. Have a good one.